question specifically about the scholarly sources for some of your assertions. I'm not a specialist in the Middle East, but I've read the work of Bernard Lewis, who is a preeminent historian of the Middle East, a Princeton professor, London-born Jew, neither an Islamophobe nor an Islamophile. And in his analysis of the life of the Prophet Muhammad and of the Quran, he claims that there's a mix of positive and negative views of Jews, but the positive views predominate.
See?
And that, in fact, the Prophet Muhammad held the Jews as people of the book in monotheists in high regard. He said, in contrast, the anti-Jewish sentiment contained in the words of the Prophet Muhammad paled in comparison to the views he held about Arab pagan tribes, and pales in contrast to the history of Western Christian anti-Semitism. But one would not get that sense of proportion from your talk.
Okay.
Just a second.
I would like to tell you,
because you're not being a scholar yourself, I'd like to know what the scholarly foundation for your argument is.
Middle East
You're not a scholar. I'd like to know what the scholarly basis
Can you
is.
answer?
Okay.
Ask the question. You need to answer.
Can I answer now?
I hope you can.
Islam has a mixture of loving Jews and hating Jews. Okay? When Muhammad started his mission in Mecca, he was there for 13 years in his own tribe in Mecca, Quraysh. And he was preaching that his religion is an Abrahamic religion related to the Jewish people, and he called them the people of the book. He actually spoke early on that they are, he spoke very well about them at the beginning. And then he was trying to convince the people of Mecca to convert to his new religion. They rejected him. His people rejected him. And when his uncle died, he was too afraid to stay in Mecca because they were going to kill him because he doesn't have support. So after 13 years of life in Mecca, he only had 150 followers. And he moved to Medina, which was, the word Medina is a Hebrew word, and it means town. And Medina at that time was a Jewish town.
No, it wasn't. It was
And
tribes.
No, seriously,
It had
stop.
three major tribes. There were a few Arabs living at the peripheral of Medina to profit from the wealthy Jewish tribes. And what happened is he moved to Medina to the people of the book, whom he thought were going to support him and stand by him and convert to his religion. They welcomed him. They didn't kill him. They allowed him to live in their town. And what happened is Muhammad started preaching to the Jews to convert to Islam. And his whole reputation in front of his tribe, which he was now killing. People in Mecca used to send trade caravans to Syria, unarmed trade caravans. And Muhammad used to attack them and kill them and take their goodies. And that's how he became rich.
This is at the time of the
He
war.
actually said in one of his hadith, I have become wealthy through terror. That's not, and
What's the answer to the question?
Yes.
You propose a thesis contrary to Bernard Lewis. I'd like to know what your scholarly foundation is. That's all.
Sir,
Not the storytelling.
I am doing a storytelling. That's my...
That's not scholarly
What
foundation
happened?
for anything.
What happens
in a
is
scholarly conference.
Muhammad, when his town, his own tribe rejected him, and then he moved to the people that he claimed is linked to his religion, Abrahamic. We're brothers. We're Abrahamic. Convert to Islam. The Jews refused to convert to Islam.
Can you tell me the source of the 62% claim that
It's
She didn't call
Send me
her,
an email. I don't have.
YouTube,
Send me an
YouTube.
email.
He gave a presentation without
Please, I'm saying something now. Let me
You're being rude.
finish.
You're being rude.
So what happened? Muhammad was living in Medina off of raids, off of raiding Arab tribes. He became wealthy through terror. I'm quoting Muhammad now. I have become wealthy through terror. So he used to raid the tribes, raid the caravans, and he encouraged the Arabs who were living in Medina to join him. And then eventually he started asking the Jews to convert to him. And they said, no, our Messiah is not going to be an Arab. He's going to be Jewish. He's going to be from us. And there started a clash with the Jews. Muhammad felt totally discredited. His own people rejected him in Medina. They called him a thief and a highway robber. And the Jews rejected him as well. He started looking bad. I am the prophet of Allah, and I am getting wealthy through terror. And the Jewish tribes are getting wealthy through hard work.
Through what?
And hard work. They were doing agriculture. They were doing tools. They were hardworking. They were wealthy. They had beautiful homes. And Muhammad's eyes started to, I like that. So what happened? He started persecuting them. And what happened? He eventually, there was even a Jewish rabbi who begged him not to kill them. Begged him several times. Eventually, the last tribe, Qurayza, he took from 600 to 900 men over the age of puberty. He dug trenches. He spent days to dig the trenches. He took all the men of the tribe above the puberty age and beheaded them personally with all the Muslim tribes. Muhammad spent 2 days getting the Jewish men in 12 batches of 12 and beheading them, claiming that, oh, they betrayed me. They had deals with the people of Mecca. They betrayed me. And it was an orgy of a slaughter by the Prophet of Islam. After that, even by Arabian Peninsula standards, Muhammad started looking bad. He had to find a reason why the slaughter happened. And there comes the next day in the Quran verses that congratulate the men who joined him in killing him, saying they're going to go to heaven, they're going to have 72 virgins. And he started saying, it's not my hand that killed them, it's the hand of Allah that killed them. It's a Macbeth, it's a Shakespearean tragedy. It's not my hand that killed the Jews, it's not your hand that killed the Jews, it's the hand of Allah. They are the enemies of Allah. And the verses came out that he's justified by killing the Jews because they are really not subhuman, they are not human, they are apes, pigs, enemies of Allah. Muhammad flipped from honoring the Jews to hating the Jews overnight. And that was the reason why he could not keep them as human. They have to be subhuman. He did an atrocity. He did butchering that should never happen by a prophet. But the only way to get out of that butchery and appear okay was to say that they are really not human, they are subhuman, they are apes, pigs, and enemies of Allah. and not at his deathbed, his guilt, his mind was tortured. He was a tortured man. And he told his followers, join me, and after I die, continue killing them. It's a tragedy of Shakespearean level that nobody even knows about. And that's why hating Jews became an existential problem for Islam. Hating Jews is so part of Islam. It's so important for Islam because if you don't hate Jews, if Jews are human beings, then Muhammad is an assassin. He should not have killed the Jews. So it's an eternal problem with Islam to forgive the Jews and to make peace with the Jews and to accept them as human and to let them, allow them to rule their own country, to rule themselves. They're not slaves anymore. If Muslims do that, it is the end of Islam because Muhammad would be a killer of human beings.
Which he was.
It's an which he was. And that's why Islam and killing Jews and hating Jews is such an important part of Islam to hate Jews. It's an existential problem for Islam to hate Jews. It strikes at the heart of their prophet, whether he's credible or not. And that's why Muslims, I have an article, please go and read it. Google it. It's called Why Muslims Must Hate Jews. Must. This can't. Must hate Jews. Because if they don't hate Jews, they have betrayed their own prophet. And all the verses of the Quran, the early verses of the Quran that were describing them as the people of the book and so on and so forth, they're all self-abrogated. All the contradictions of the Quran are abrogated. Yes, ma'am.
And people are asking for academic reference